We just scaled a high-ticket book call business from $70,000 monthly revenue to over $160,000 monthly revenue in less than 6 months. And in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 strategies we used to do this so quickly and how we were able to take our average contract value from less than $4,000 to over $15,000 with the same leads and the same ad budget. Strategy number 1, which is honestly one of the most important things, is the ultra high ticket offer. And so think about your average coaching, consulting, info, B2B service provider. They're most likely offering a sale between anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000, either more of a do-it-yourself option or more of a done with you / done for you light version. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this because if you're able to sell that service and consistently bring people in, you're able to make great money. But if you have most people's metrics where you're on average paying anywhere from $1,800 to $3,000 per customer, it becomes way too aggressive and way too expensive to actually scale quickly. Because if your average contract value is only $3,600 and you're paying $2,000 per customer, you're making less than 50% of your money back on the front end. This means that in order to get enough cash to actually aggressively reinvest and to grow your company quickly, you need to wait for number 1, that payment processor to clear, and number 2, your bank account to stack slowly over time so that you as the founder feel comfortable enough to throw your money back into growth. Well, we solved this quickly by just selling something that's a fuck ton more expensive, which is our ultra high ticket offer at $25,000. Whenever we start working with a new company, this is one of the first things we recommend because it's the fastest way to go ahead and increase the cash collected on the front end, your cash conversion cycle, which is how fast you bring that money back in after putting the ads out, and frankly, just 4 to 5x your profit overnight. Now, most companies tell me, Nathan, I don't understand how I can sell a $25,000 offer with what I sell and who I'm selling to. But believe it or not, we've done this in everything from dating coaching to AV companies to agency services. All you have to do to sell a $25,000 offer is to sell your core offer, but give them to, number 1, a foremost expert on your team. If you're selling info, that may be a little bit of one-on-one access with you, even if it's 1 call a month. Or if you're selling agency services, maybe it means they have direct access to a senior executive of some sort to give them consulting and advice along with it, and then give them an extended period of support on the back end. When we were running the dating offer, we introduced a $25,000 offer. One of the main components was that instead of 3 months access to the program, we gave them a full year's access. Just that alone, people were happy to throw money at it. And in the case of this company, where they're actually building out a physical product for the customer, we would pay subcontractors in their local area to show up at their house and actually build out the product for them. So rather than having to follow our videos, like with our $7,000, $7,500 option, they could just have someone show up, knock on their door and say, hey, I'm here to build this for you. And what did that result in? Well, it resulted in higher cash collected, the same number of units sold month over month, and about a 500% increase in profit. All because we had the balls to say, hey, we are done charging $4,000 on average, and now we're going to pitch a $25,000 product on every single call. And now, in order to implement this successfully, you need to basically tell your sales rep the $25,000 is required to be pitched on every single call. It's part of your SOP that if the sales rep does not pitch the $25,000 and they still collect cash for a smaller package, that sales rep is then reprimanded in some way. Because 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, the people you don't think can afford it are going to suddenly whip out $25K and pay you. And number 2, even if they don't end up buying that, it's going to act as a price anchor, and they're going to be much more open and much more willing to purchase your core offer, which was previously your most expensive offer. Now, I will say pitching a $25,000 offer is cool, but you're not going to be able to actually move those units if you don't have people knowing, liking, and trusting you before the call. And that's where strategy number 2 gets so important, and that is going to be propaganda. So when we first got on this offer, it was just a VSL and some basic appointment reminders like most people run. However, that's not the most efficient way to do things to have people trust you. You see, they were dealing with something we see on pretty much every offer, which is an individual shows up, they still showed up to the call, but they were confused why they were there. They're like, what exactly do you do? How does the product work? How does this actually make me money? How easy is this? And they had all the skepticism and concerns that a prospect normally gives. Well, we fixed this with 2 things. Number 1, our propaganda, which I'll tell you about right now. And number 2, our asset pages and asset indoctrination sequences, which I'm not sharing with anybody anywhere. But to get more into the propaganda, essentially what we did is we made a list of the top 10 most common concerns, objections, and blocks when it came to actually having the customer move forward on the sales call. Once we had that list, We then recorded 20 unique scripts addressing each of those concerns in 2 ways. Number one, a direct informational video that goes ahead and actually explains why that shouldn't be a concern. And number two, an informational plus testimonial video that explains why that shouldn't be a concern. Then we set them up inside of their own meta retargeting campaign, with each individual ad having its own ad set and campaign running at just $2 a day. And when you set up the custom audiences correctly and you set up the ad campaign the right way, you're able to reach thousands of people and show them minute-long, 2-minute-long videos for 5 to 10 cents a piece. This means that every prospect, between the time they actually just filled out their information, became a lead, and showed up on the call, was being force-fed anywhere from 50 to 150 pieces of content directly onto their phone. Let me ask you, if you saw 150 videos with me and you showed up on a call, how much more would you trust me? You would trust me implicitly. And that's exactly what happened. So now we're able to include videos with different sales reps, videos with the founder, and videos explaining exactly how the product helps them make more money, how it actually works, how easy it is to use, and why they should trust us. So by the time they get on the call, they're just laydowns. And when we go to pitch them a $25K offer, rather than saying, oh no, this isn't for me, and getting off the call, they say, well, I already know I want the product and I want to work with you. Let's just figure out how to make it happen. And so now you've gone ahead, you have a super expensive offer to sell people where you're able to collect a ton of cash up front. You have retargeting ads and propaganda going that make people know, like, and trust you before they've ever even spoken to you. But how do you actually get the right people on the call? Because if you're like most offers I speak to, if you're like most companies I speak to, every time you crank ad spend, you probably deal with more and more unqualified prospects showing up on the calendar. And you probably have 1 or 2 calendars you run all prospects to that just randomly disperses throughout your sales team. And so what ends up happening is as you spend more, Meta gets better at targeting, because that's what Meta does, and it gets you cheaper and cheaper calls. But even though the calls are cheaper, as you get more volume, the call quality actually gets worse. And so I always like to tell an offer owner when I go to work with them, picture it like this. Imagine you hire me as your employee. I'm sitting there, I'm talking to you, we're having a great time, right? And you say, Nathan, every single time you text a potential prospect, I'm gonna give you $10. Well, then what am I gonna end up doing? Or what are any employee or any system gonna end up doing? It's gonna end up texting as many people or as many prospects as possible, not following up, and always trying to start new conversations, because it's rewarded to do that and it gets $10 every time. But if instead you said, hey, Nathan, I want you to text prospects, but I'm gonna give you $20 every single time they actually show up on the call. And if they don't show up, I'm gonna smack you with a baseball bat. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm not only gonna text new prospects, but I'm gonna follow up with them. I'm gonna try to increase the show rates as much as possible. And I'm gonna make sure if they're gonna no-show, that they cancel the call ahead of time or reply in advance, because my incentives are aligned. Think of Meta the exact same way. What most people are doing is they're feeding all of the schedule data back to Meta. And because of that, Meta says, oh, I'm getting a cheaper cost per call, so they're gonna give me more and more money. That is the wrong way to do things. Instead, we build out a 4-calendar system with every single company we work with. There's calendar 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it means exactly what you think it is. The best leads go to calendar 4. And this is the only calendar that if we're spending enough money, we send the data back to Meta. Meaning, unless you get me more people like this person making $50,000 a month, I am not calling it a schedule. Then we have calendars 3 that can have high tier but not quite exceptional leads. We have calendar 2 that's gonna go ahead and have mediocre leads, and calendar 1 is just gonna be the broke prospects that we're not even gonna bother contacting. What this allows us to do is, number 1, we're gonna see improving lead quality over time. If all we ever do is say, hey Meta, I only accept leads that are going to go ahead and have $50K a month in income, $100K a month in income, well, what Meta is gonna do is it's gonna find us more of those people, because Meta understands that if we do not get results, if we don't get schedules on our calendar, we're gonna stop spending money with Meta and we're gonna go spend our money elsewhere. And Meta, at the end of the day, is a capitalist business and a capitalist economy. It wants to get you as much results as possible. You just have to tell it what you're looking for. But by having the other calendars, 2 things happen. Number 1, we only put our best closers on calendar 4. We give them the highest quality leads, the people with the most money, the people most likely to close, and we make sure that our top closers are making ridiculous commissions. This incentivizes them to chase their leads even harder because they know that they're uber qualified, while also giving everybody on B, C, and D calendar 3, 2, and 1, the incentive to, hey, you guys aren't getting the best leads because you're not the best yet. Keep getting better and you can earn your way to calendar 4. So while our best closers are closing over on this amazing calendar, the top level calendar, the one that brings us all the best prospects, we have other closers ramping on calendar C and calendar B. And if they can earn it, if they can match their KPIs, and if they can beat top closers' past performance on those calendars, they can overtake them. This creates a competitive sales environment where your company understands, hey, I am rewarded for being better. I'm going to put in outsized effort, and you're able to collect extra sales from B and C calendar, which aren't worth your best closer's time, while your best closers clean up on the top calendar and fill your pockets with profit. And guess what your best closers are doing this entire time? They're selling that $25,000 offer you just introduced. That is 70 to 80% profit for your pockets. And so that's exactly what we did to help this company scale from $75,000 a month to $160,000 a month in less than 6 months. And we really went from doing about $15,000 to $20,000 a week inconsistently to doing over $40,000 every single week, with that becoming the new floor with a lower overhead, more profit, and more efficiency. So give it a shot, try implementing these 3 strategies, and I guarantee you that if you do, you have a chance of making more money. Obviously, you have to implement and operate correctly, but you'll do very well with them. If you found value in this, 2 things. Number 1, hit the subscribe button below. And number 2, if you're a company doing anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 to $500,000 to $1 million a month, spending anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 per month on Meta ads, click the link down in the description. I'm gonna have a link where you can go ahead and schedule a time to chat with myself. We'll run through a full audit of your business. And if I truly believe we can actually help your company grow, I'll go ahead and let you know how we can get started.